Hey, Jen here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 levels of spiritual consciousness. They're also known as the 4 levels of responsibility, and they really underlie everything that you create in your life. So perhaps there's an area of your life where you're feeling stuck or stagnant, or you've got these goals that you want to accomplish, and for one reason or another, you've fallen short. Perhaps you're finding there's certain areas of your life where you're self-sabotaging. You're getting in your own way, right? This is so common. It's like, the human condition. We all come up against it, but how we move through it is up to us. And knowing about these 4 frequencies of spiritual consciousness is so helpful to really understand how to begin to move forward and raise our frequency, raise our level of responsibility, and begin to create the results that we want in our life. And so if you're feeling stuck or stagnant in a certain area of your life, relationships, career, money, health, whatever it may be, if there's an area of your life where you're like, God, I've been working so hard, or really wanting this to happen and it hasn't happened yet, or feeling really stuck here, or this relationship is just not, the level of connectedness that I want, whatever it may be, we get to look at ourselves, because that's where change starts. It's up to us. And that's where the frequencies of consciousness come in, or the levels of responsibility come in. Because if we're not taking responsibility, if we're not accepting responsibility for all areas of our life, and we're, placing the blame outside of ourselves, it's going to be really difficult to shift and to change. And so these 4 frequencies of spiritual consciousness are victim, law, vessel, and one. And I'll explain each one so you can start to kind of contemplate where you might be living in a certain area of your life. And then in subsequent videos, I'll break them down and really spend time diving into each one and how we can begin to up level, to raise our frequency, to step into a higher level of responsibility for our life. Okay, so that first level, or that first frequency, that lowest frequency, is victim. And truly, that's where most of the world is living today, in a victim mindset, a victim frequency of consciousness. It's a very low level of consciousness. And in this state, there's this internal narrative, or this belief that life is happening to you. Things are happening to you, right? And there's this internal narrative of, why does this always happen to me? And so you can see in just that language that when you're living in this state, when you're living in that low frequency, you've given all your power away, right? You've placed all the power outside of yourself. You're placing blame and fault on other people, situations, circumstances, whether it's, the state of the economy, or, if you're watching the news all the time, you're blaming all the things that you hear on the news, or maybe you're in a relationship and it's not going so well, and you're blaming the other person for everything, whatever it may be, and maybe you're not outwardly saying those words, but internally that is the narrative. And if that's the case, you're attracting more of that, okay? And so we get to change that messaging internally. And so the opportunity here, if you're in a place of victim, and you might be like doing super well in some areas of your life, but there's this one area of your life where you're like in this state of victim, and there's an opportunity to give up blame and shame. Release the blame and shame, and again, take your power back and accept responsibility for everything that you create in your life. The next level is law. Okay, so in law, we are raising our frequency, we're elevating our state, we're accepting more responsibility for our life. And in the belief, or the mindset here, is things are happening by me. Okay, things are happening by me. Life is happening for me. Life is happening for me. Life is not happening to me. Life is happening for me. You see how just that change in verbiage completely changes the frequency and the meaning of that sentence. Life is happening for me. It's so much more uplifting and positive. And when you begin to believe that, your frequency increases. And so when you are living in this state where things are happening by you, life is happening for you, there is this this experience of power to manifest, right? So you're beginning to feel like, oh gosh, like I can create what I want in my life. I have the power to manifest what I want in my life. When all along we've been manifesting, but if you were living in a state of victim, you're likely manifesting what you didn't want, right? So now we're beginning to see like, okay, I do have the power to manifest like abundance in my life, and beauty in my life, and healthy relationships in my life. And the internal narrative here is I can control my thoughts in my life. I can control my thoughts in my life. So while we are raising the frequency, we're accepting responsibility into our life, there is still this sense of control. And so it can be quite rigid. And so as we step into that next level, the opportunity is to release that sense of control. There's an opportunity for surrender, okay? So as we move into that next level, that third level of spiritual consciousness, that is known as vessel or channel, okay? And the belief here is that life is happening through me. Things are happening through me. I am a vessel or a channel for God, for the divine, for source to work through me, okay? And I'm a vessel through which God speaks. The internal narrative here is, it is not I, but it's God that does the work. And so this is a very feminine energy, and you really move into a place of flow, of trust, of surrender, of being in the zone, okay? And so this is the third level that we can move into in different areas of our life, ultimately our whole life, our entire life, right? Where we're living in a state of vessel or channel. And then as we move up into that higher fourth level of spiritual consciousness, level of responsibility, that fourth level is known as one, or being. And it's a state of being in which life is happening through you. Life is happening through me. I am one with God. And this is an incredibly high level of consciousness, of responsibility. We don't see it very often in our society. It's quite rare, but it's something to, aspire to. And so in this one, the internal narrative is, I am one with God. There is a sense of oneness, a sense of connection, oneness with God, oneness with all beings. And it's a very expansive state to be in. And this is, in this state, certainly abundance is flowing effortlessly. And there's no striving, there's no grasping, there's no wanting. It is living in the ultimate end state of having it all, because you are one with the divine, and the divine is love. The divine is abundance. The divine is expansiveness. The divine is peace. The divine is joy. The divine is bliss, right? And so when you are one with that, there's nothing more that you want. And so in the next few videos, I'll break each one down in more detail and explain how you can really begin to move from one level to the next in certain areas of your life. But for now, I invite you to go download my free guided breathwork meditation, because that is going to be a really powerful tool to help support you in moving out of a victim state of consciousness and continuing to move up into the next frequencies of consciousness, to create that abundance and that love and that purpose and that joy and expansiveness in your life as well. So until next time, go grab my free guided breathwork meditation, click the link below, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, bye.